Hi, lovers and leaders. This is Sarah, Dr. Sarah Bash. How are you? Thank you for joining me today. So today I really want to focus on fear, just for a few moments, how to really identify fear, manage fear, and really cast it out so it doesn't inhibit your experience in loving relationships and even loving interactions as you are evolving as a leader. Okay. The thing about fear, it's really sneaky, it's really subtle, all right, very crafty, and it disguises itself as a protector. Okay. It disguises itself as your protector, as your friend. And what do I mean by that? Have you ever been in situations where you've had such a traumatic event in your life? It could have been repeated in relationships, and then you get into another situation, and maybe the person that you're interacting with kind of shows little glimpses, or maybe just reminds you of your past, right? And out of fear, okay, you may start manifesting certain fearful strategies, emotional strategies, such as being overly controlling, for example, all right, such as being overly guarded, okay. It could also be overly needy, all right, checking on somebody all the time, wanting to be part of their life all the time, or it could just be overly independent because the fear of, I don't even want to get too close to you or be too vulnerable because I know what that feels like. I've been disappointed before. Or, like I said, you want to be overly close because you have this fear of abandonment and rejection, right? So you're doing all these things out of fear, but you just think it's part of your personality. No, fear is running the show. Fear is behind the scenes, all right? It appeared on the scenes because of some traumatic events that has been unaddressed, so unhealed. And unfortunately, if it's unaddressed and unhealed, it directs your personality, all right? For example, you may have been such an outgoing person before. Now you're more reserved, more guarded, all right? You just don't, you're not the same. You're just not the same. You may have been someone that was really secure before, and now you're acting very insecure, right? Overly thinking, overthinking, right? These are these manifestations of fear. But one of the reasons I really wanted to make this video is that I want you to recognize fear, uh, what it does. It acts as if it's protecting you. But when you tap into the realm of fear, the spirit of fear, the emotion of fear, nothing good actually happens. It may seem like you're guarding yourself, you're protecting yourself, but what you're actually doing is minimizing your experience of actually having a fulfilling relationship. Okay? You may have heard someone tell you you're overly guarded, you're not vulnerable, you don't share. Okay? You may even see yourself in a realm of relationships experiencing jealousy, envy. How does that usually show up? It could be someone gets blessed or someone has something that you believed, you basically want that same thing, but when that person has it before you, that jealousy makes you think negative things to that person or feel or do some negative things out of jealousy, okay? Out of the fear of, it's such a strange fear, but a fear of, well, they've got it, I need to get it too. It's almost like you have this scarcity mindset that because they've got it, then it's delaying you to get yours. Fear is so sneaky. It's so sneaky. Even fear can make you be selfish. You don't even want to share anything. You don't want to share anything. So I want you to see how fear really impacts your personality. Like the Bible says, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit of power, love, and a soundness of mind. And when you walk in fear, your personality is changing. When you walk in fear, because of previous experiences, you may have symptoms of anxiety, overly worrying, okay? And when you have anxiety or worrying, that may now manifest into lack of patience. And lack of patience manifests into irritability. Irritability may then flow into anger or aggression and frustration. But the root of it is fear. You don't want what has happened to you before happening again. And the thing about fear, it's so, like I said, I'm going to keep saying it, it's so subtle and so quiet. It's not your friend. You've got to recognize that fear is there and address it. Address it head on. One of the things I love about the principles of the Bible, it says that, one of the scriptures that says that where there is fear, okay, there is no love. Where there is fear, there is no love. It's two different powers. It's two different realms. Fear is the dark realm that makes you make really wrong decisions, off the cuff decisions, decisions that doesn't consider anyone else but yourself. All right, so the focus is about yourself. And love is focused on yourself too, but considers other people. You've heard that scripture, love your neighbors, you love yourself, right? So it's more considerate of other people, right? So if you want to cast out fear from your life, you have to practice love. And there is a whole framework of how the Bible sees love, right, in the book of Corinthians. All right. And it starts off with love is patient and love is kind. All right. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not prideful. It's not self-seeking. All right. It's not selfish. It considers other people. You know, it's generous. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. In other words, it forgives easily. How about being more intentional of walking in love so that you can operate with a clear mind in your relationships? A clear mind when you're operating in your workplace, in your business. Don't let anything or anyone create in you spirits of worry, anxiety, frustration. That's fear. So when I think of all the negative patterns in life, generally all of them, it's all rooted in fear. It's all rooted in fear. Yeah, fear. All rooted in fear. Fear is not your friend. All right? It's not your friend. So being overly guarded, trying to be controlling the situation, you know, you want to control this person because out of fear of feeling uncomfortable, and that discomfort could be you're perceiving maybe a level of some kind of humiliation is going to happen, rejection is going to happen, someone's not going to do it in your perfect way. It's all rooted in fear. Let me know in the comment section if you're tracking with this. When I got this revelation about fear, how it could be perceived as helping you, but see, it doesn't show its head as fear. It shows its head as like, I'm protecting myself from this situation, or I'm gonna isolate myself because I fear something bad's gonna happen. But it's a perception. It's not really, it hasn't happened. And many of you are probably wondering, well, you know, I keep having these experiences of different symptoms of fear, right? But that's because you haven't addressed those initial traumas and really acknowledge that you're still hurting. You're still hurting. One of the quickest way to deal with a hurting, wounded heart is to understand that if people really knew what they were really doing to your soul, when they hurt you and not consider you as well as to their own soul, they wouldn't have done what they've done. They wouldn't have done it. So if you just consider that if that person knew better, they would do better, it's gonna make it easier for you to forgive them, because you'll have the understanding that there's another programming operating in their mind. That's why they're not thinking clearly. That they're not having a clear mind. They're not having a sound mind that is operating clearly. Like, who would want to abuse somebody with a clear mind, with a clear conscience? All right? Abuse you emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. Who's actually going to do that with a soundness of mind, walking in love and walking in their power? The thing about operating in fear and its various spectrums of manifestations I've mentioned is that when you operate in fear, you've given your power away to fear, to take control of the show of your life. Some of you used to be so lovely, so soft, so loving, so open to new experiences. And because of certain mistakes of choosing the wrong people, not walking in discernment, not even praying to God, like, should I even, create space for this relationship, because you didn't check in with the source of love that has your best interests at heart. You did your own thing and you were ignorant. You got hurt, right? You got hurt. So in that space of your innocence, your openness, and you got hurt again and again and again, you didn't learn the lesson. So the lesson kept coming, right? That's the thing about this universe. The lesson will keep coming until you pass the test. So because of these hurts and the brokenness, you haven't healed, you haven't forgiven them, you haven't forgiven yourself, you're more rigid. You're more rigid in the way you manage people in the workplace. You say things like, I'm just being realistic. No, that's just your fear there. You don't believe of a better outcome. Oh no, I have to, control my spouse or my kids. Yeah, that's your trauma speaking, your fear there. Because something you don't want them to do, because it's going to remind you of something that bruised your heart, that you haven't forgiven the person that did it to you, and you haven't forgiven yourself for putting yourself in that situation. I challenge you today to, first of all, seek the source of love. Seek the one that created you in your mother's womb. Because even your mother and your father didn't stick their hands in the womb and put all, your limbs together and all your organs. So seek the creator who created you and knew you before you entered your mother's womb. Seek the creator that keeps you alive right now, all your organs working automatically and in complete harmony. Okay, seek that higher power, that God, all right, to heal your heart and to restore your heart back to its innocence, back to its playfulness, back to its joy again, back to its love again, back to thinking clearly and walking in, this personal power that you had before. Seek him, seek that love, and let that love pour into your heart, and use that love, that unlimited, unconditional love, not the man-made love that many of us experienced, right? Very conditional. Seek that unconditional love that loves you just the way you are and created you on purpose. That's why you're alive and still alive. All right? Use that love, leverage that love to loving yourself. Accept everything that's happened in your life, the past and the present. Accept everything, the faults, the failures, the successes. Accept everything. Love everything about yourself. Because when you're more accepting of yourself, you're more than likely accepting of others. And when you can accept yourself and the mistakes, and you can forgive yourself, it eases that pain. It eases that desire to lean on fear to protect you. I don't want you to be leaning on fear. I don't want you to be leaning on the demonic to protect you, because that is a voice of a lying spirit. All right? It's a lying spirit, that fear. Worry, anxiety, fear that masks itself in the ways I've already described. It's a demonic entity. I challenge you to seek the source and the power of love to protect you. I was doing this thing as I was driving to work, and I still do it, where I declare that, I receive God's love, I love myself, and I love everyone around me. Do you know, as I keep doing that, there's this energy field that is, I feel even created around me, that I feel so secure. It's the most, you have to try it. Excuse me. You have to really try it, because it's like a protective shield when I tap into love. When I have moments of like, oh my goodness, thinking about things for the next day and wondering the outcome of that, those are anxiety. I'm tapping into the demonic realm, the dark realm, and nothing good comes from that. But when I speak to my heart, encourage myself, and tell myself how much I love myself, and tap into the God of love and love everyone around me, there's this, like I said, this protective element that when you love, they can't harm you. When you love others, they cannot harm you, because that's God of love, and he will not allow anyone to harm you. See, there's a saying that says, what you see is what you get. So if you fear something is going to happen to you, you are literally creating the momentum, that potential energy, that flow, that spirit, and it's going to come into your world. What you see is what you're going to get. So if you see negative, you see evil, you hear evil, it's going to come. If you see good, okay, you feel good, you hear good, within yourself, within your spiritual ears, see good in your spiritual eyes, that good is going to be attracted to you. Let go of fear. Come out of agreement with that lying friend of fear, and come into agreement with your friend, love. Love conquers all. Love casts out fear. Love gives you back your power, okay? Love gives you back your soundness of mind. No more double-mindedness. Some of you have multiple voices going on in there. You're not stable, overly emotional. Walk in love. Start saying, I love myself, I love the Almighty God, and I love everyone around me. You will see your atmosphere will shift. All right? Your atmosphere will shift. If you're tracking this, let me know in the comment section. If you need coaching and guiding in this realm of basically eliminating fear from your life, so you can walk in your personal power, walk in your personal love, and operate with a soundness of mind, please check out my link in the description, so you can have one-on-one sessions with me. All right? Because it's really important to operate, as somebody that's healthy and desires healthy relationships in your personal life and in the workplace. You need to eliminate that fear and walk in your power. You need to come out of agreement with that fear that makes your mind race, that makes you project negative things, that makes you isolate or guarded up, all right, to the point that you can't connect or you don't want to connect. It's a lying spirit, all right? And it often it starts in our time of innocence. with our childhood wounds. So I do have a one-on-one session to deal with those childhood wounds, to grow you up spiritually, emotionally, into the man and the woman that you're meant to be. All right, so don't miss out on a one-on-one coaching session with me, especially with those childhood wounds. Okay, so please check it out. If you're tracking with me, leave me a comment in the comment section, and I'm going to end it there. All right, fear is not your friend, it's your foe. It's very subtle. I've given you some ways to identify it. Don't let it operate in your life anymore. Don't let it continue to program your life, that it just distorts your life and your relationships. Cast it out with love. Give love a chance again. Give it a chance again. But love on God first. Seek who He is first, the creator of your life, and loving yourself. And then you'll be prepared to love on others without any fear. Until next time, peace and blessings to you.